Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Episode 37 of Cyrus Says was released on October 1st, 2015.
Just to remind everybody that language usage and content that we provide here may be disturbing, disgusting, probably will be and should be. Words like bloody custard and words that rhyme with that may be featured. Actually will be featured. In fact, perhaps will only be featured. Just warning you.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Yes, it's called Cyrus Says, and I don't know how I'm doing this show today because what I suffered this week was just, I don't think I have the guts to tell you. Well, let me tell you anyway. On Tuesday, at about 12 o'clock, I left Prabhadevi with my good friend Kunal Vijayakar. I'm Don Quixote and he's two Sancho Panzas. That's how we like to look at ourselves. We left Prabhadevi to go to Willingdon Club, a total of 1.5 kilometers. We reached at 2:15. 2:15, ladies and gentlemen. 2 hours, 15 minutes stuck in traffic because 4,000 of the richest, terriblest women in India had got together to do some sort of fashion expo called the Dome and NSCI. A, let's bomb NSCI. B, let's bomb rich women. C, let's remove all design from this country because we don't have any sense anyway. That's what I want to say on Cyrus Says. I can't take this anymore. A city of 20 kilometers and we can't go anywhere. It takes days, Tuesday to Thursday, to go from Worli to Colaba. What's happening to us? But we have a very pleasant show. Please stay with us. Cyrus Says.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Yes, on Cyrus Says, we've got Dharmesh Gandhi, King of Star Network. A young kid who used to work with us at MTV many years ago, now is rising star in the TV world. He'll tell us about all the TV things from the Emmys to Quantico, the new show, to Priyanka Chopra's accent and clothes, and above all, how to walk your dog if he's a horse. Stop talking until I say so. That's the only time I have any authority is the beginning of the show. Please, Chavi, let me be the master. Ladies and gentlemen, in my radio voice, welcome to our wonderful show, Cyrus Says. Our guest for today, Dharmesh Gandhi. Philanthropist, philosopher, singer, dancer, actor, circus trapeze artist, one-time MTV sort of employee, friend, guide, counselor, but now he heads Star Network. He's like the biggest guy there. And under him is a guy called Uday Shankar, who doesn't return our phone calls. Uday, if you're listening to the show, your excuse about my mother being unwell and then your back being injured, terrible. But good creativity. So if you want to write for your own channel, I suggest you start now. And Chavi, welcome also once and for all.
Hello.
What should we say about you? Let me look at your biodata. Not much. I'm kidding. She's a lovely girl with a huge wealth of experience in radio. And she's been a producer, director, writer, artist, anchor for the last 7 or 8 years. And also represented America in synchronized swimming twice. Dharmesh, let's start with you. Welcome to the show. You started off as a little gopher in the TV world.
That's correct.
Running around assisting people and being a pain in the... Can I say the word arse or is that wrong?
I think it's right.
Yeah, when I say arse, I mean US. It's like arse
it was fun. I started off as...
How many years have passed since we first saw you around?
12 years.
12 years.
You're old.
Yeah, I'm old. And you're very enthusiastic, I do remember.
Yeah, I do remember too. We pulled off a bakra on a whole college, if you remember.
Correct.
Sophia College.
Sophia. So see, I was close. I was 6 kilometers off, but come on.
And there were only girls.
So basically you were
No,
days
it
off.
was a festival. We had gone on stage and all that, and am I right?
Yeah. So it was an Antakshari set up, and I was planted there.
Yeah.
And I was told to just screw around with everything and everybody. So there was, they got a fake anchor. And basically the anchor was in my favor. Whatever I would say was right.
And more importantly, the questions, very difficult ones would be asked to the
Basically,
others.
we spoke about Bollywood actors that never existed, and you had to sing the song, a duet between two actors.
So clearly it was
you'd
fake.
never heard of. So I would make up a song. At one point, I also sang the Lifebuoy jingle, and I was given 10 points. So that was awesome.
Yeah, and there were oohs and ahs in the audience because all the mixed colleges out there getting angry that their colleges are being ridiculed, and this guy, complete joker, is getting away with murder. But it worked,
awesome.
I thought it wouldn't work because they catch on, but it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It totally worked. It went on for a good 20 minutes.
Had so many women coming and offering themselves to him after the show. But all of them, of course, in the 60 plus category.
Often to scrub you down.
But then I was too young.
He was too young, so I took over. He was too young. I was Ernest. We started a brand called Ernest Too Young. Damn you, Dharmesh. Nothing has changed in 12 years. But you've climbed the corporate ladder now. So I don't understand. You went from, I thought you'd be a producer, but you're actually more of a marketing guy now. What you
I did production. I mean, I joined TV18 for a while.
Right.
I was working
realized that people get sacked every 3 months and decided to move on. Fair enough.
So before I got sacked, I moved on. I worked there for about 2.5 years.
You dodged bullets for 2.5 years?
2.5 years.
I would stand up and salute you, but at 95 kilos, it's not easy. But I could salute you without standing up, but that wouldn't be nice.
Do it.
All right, done.
So, I produced promos for the network for a while. It was fun for a while. Then I started watching a lot of TV shows. And I started talking on Twitter about it.
He's telling us this because that's what makes him who he is today. You have to put in the hard yards. He watched lots of TV. Go on.
So did that for a while. I used to tweet a lot about TV shows. And suddenly somebody at Star, it's actually fantastic because somebody at Star saw that I used to tweet a lot about TV shows.
It's like the Johnny Lever story. I mean, they just heard him doing his mimicry somewhere in a factory and next thing he's a superstar.
Correct. Not a superstar yet, but yes. So I was told...
How modest is Dharmesh? Did you see the BMW 7 Series that came in? That's his driver's car. His car was after that. Go on.
So basically, somebody called me in and said, why don't you come in for an interview? And
who was that somebody? Because that person made your career.
So this lady called Rasika Tyagi,
very pretty
who
lady,
was my boss for a while. Now she's moved on.
I wanted to marry her, but she said no. I've never met her in my life. Rasika, I apologize. Go on.
So she called me in for a meeting. We had a meeting.
Was it closed doors with the blinds down? I've been for those meetings. Not always fun.
Let me talk.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
So I was told that, okay, so do you like TV shows? I'm like, yes.
What kind of person asks you, do you like TV shows?
No, there are so many people. There are so many people who don't like TV shows.
Like name me two.
Like my mom.
That's one person. Give me one more.
My dad.
What the hell, you poor kid? They had no TV growing up.
Listen, so that's the thing, right? I watch TV for all... I watch enough TV for the whole family.
Fair enough.
Basically. Yeah. So she called me in for a meeting. She's like, okay, you can join tomorrow if you like, because she was just setting up a team in India as an operations of... So to pick
Chavi,
TV
obviously
shows
she
and
liked
movies.
the guy. Why exactly is not clear. He had no TV at home. His parents hates TV and all he did is watch TV shows. Next thing he knows, he's heading the company. So I think there's something fishy in the whole story, but why get there?
So I was picked to pick TV shows and movies from Hollywood for India, for Star World and Star Movies. That time we had only 2 channels. Now we've got 7.
Taste.
Yes, apparently. And so yeah, I pretty much... pretty much quit the next day at TV18 and joined Star, and it's been 5 years now. So.
And now, what is your position? And when I say that, I'm being very light here.
So I have a very weird designation. It's something called a content engine.
You're an engine.
Content engine.
Parents are so proud today. They have an engine as a son.
So
you're an engineer. You're an engine.
The little engines that could. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's called a content engine. Now, basically, what I do for a living is I scour the market around the world and pick the best TV shows that would fit.
This is amongst the best jobs I've ever heard of in my life.
Oh, it is awesome.
They pay you to look at shows and you decide yes or no.
Absolutely.
Which you don't have to really think about because you can just go alternate. Yes, no, yes, no. But you actually have a great life and you get to watch television and you get paid for it. So when you watch television, unlike us, it's not like shut the TV, you're watching too much TV. It's please watch TV, watch more TV because you need to work.
Absolutely. But then there's a downside to it. I also have to watch...
You only have a radio at home.
I also have to watch shit like The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I love that show.
Yeah, so...
Much better than Desperate Housewives. I like The Real Housewives.
So
they look like more real women firstly.
Putting it in short, I have to watch a lot of crap as well.
Name me 5 crap shows you really hate to watch. That you suffered.
Duck Dynasty.
I've not seen it.
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I love that show.
Real Housewives of Orange County.
I would love that show because it's just geography.
One show which is really famous and good with people in India, but I hated it, is Pretty Little Liars.
That my mother likes. I'm not really into it, so I'll give you a toss there. Yeah.
So nothing. I mean, this doesn't say much about your mother, but what I'm trying to say is the show is. It appeals to women who are really bitchy and catty.
Okay, now I'm not clear. Are you insulting my mother or are you letting her off the hook?
I'm not at all. And the 5th one would be The Secret Life of American Teenager. It's terrible.
Yeah. Those shows I don't get. Chavi, in defense of these crappy shows.
I've never heard of them.
Have you heard of In Defense of Animals? They're an NGO. It's similar. Yes. In defense of these crappy shows, go ahead.
I can't.
Do you watch any of them? Have you seen the Duck Dynasty?
I didn't
Have you seen the Secret...
What the hell is that? Is that animation?
You know what Duck Dynasty is about? It's fascinating.
It's spelled with an F, by the way.
Duck Dynasty.
Got it.
Duck Dynasty is a show about a family that is into the business of rearing ducks. And it's a reality show.
Oh
yes.
my God.
I have seen a movie by Satyajit Ray where 2 people play chess. That's it.
Yeah. I've
So
seen
what are you
that
talking
movie
about?
too.
We've done
But
enough to
clearly
hurt the
You're
world.
not crazy about reality shows because 4 out of 5 are reality shows of the ones.
Yeah, but I mean, there are good reality shows out there as well. I mean, like
Big
the show
Boss.
that.
No, there's only one question, Dharmesh, I have to ask you.
Yes.
Sorry, Chavi. This is the
Big
one
Boss on
the
Sunday.
viewers will want to know, or rather listeners,
Star. What is it?
while you finish your thing. My question is, Dharmesh, do
Yes.
they ever ask you, please tell me the truth, they ever ask you to look at adult content like porn? And is there a hope one day that I will live in a world where all the people can watch adult content together holding hands and not feeling
Interesting story.
Holding hands.
Interesting story. Oh, interesting story even about holding hands.
bad? You said it 5 times, it better be good.
I was in Cannes for something called MIPCOM, where you go every year and you pick the best. I mean, everybody around the world comes and showcases their TV shows.
Right.
Now, obviously, my network doesn't promote it, but hey, you're walking around in a giant convention hall.
Correct.
And suddenly I see a 72-inch television
With an adult.
with young and old men wearing 3D glasses and standing next to each other and staring at a giant screen. I'm like, what the hell are they looking at? And suddenly what I look at, they're looking at 3D porn.
Wow.
So there was somebody in MIP, there's a whole lane, there was
Right.
like a section
Right.
which was selling 3D pornography
Wow.
to the world.
So it'll be subscription based.
It will be subscription based. There's another thing that somebody sells, it's called Naked News. So basically...
I've heard of that. They take off their clothes while telling the news.
while
We tried that. Our sponsors left in the 4th minute. But you have to see Kunal. He's not pretty with clothes on. So
yeah,
I'm
I'm not supposed to look at this content, but I look at it anyway, just to be aware.
But there must be someone
Just to be
somewhere
aware.
who has to look at that content as well and quantify why it should be there or not.
Absolutely. I'm sure there
How do I
there
get that
people around
job?
the
How do I
world.
get that job? I
you
think
got-
that's a step up from your job, and your job is great. Your job is like Vice Admiral. That's Admiral. I want to be Admiral.
Start tweeting about all the porn.
Okay, I want to change it. You're Rear Admiral. Haha, I'm Admiral.
Well, first order of business, you'll have to leave India because
Oh man,
that's never going to happen.
Never
here.
change. What about Acche Din and Make in India and all that? I mean, we do Make in India apparently. I've seen all Desis acting in movies like this.
Make
Yeah,
out
but
to
you don't want to see them in 3D. Trust me.
No, not good. You're racist when it comes to adult entertainment. I love you. I love you so much. Dharmesh, you mean man. All right, let's now talk about Star, your collection of shows. Oh, we have to take a quick break and then we'll come back and do that apparently because we're talking too much. Dharmesh, shall we talk less?
Okay.
I need to talk here. Give me a chance. We'll be back. Dharmesh Gandhi, King of Star, tells us what's coming up in the adult world in a few minutes. Sorry, back here once again. We're still talking about porn for some reason, which is something that we shouldn't talk about unless it's the Bobby Fischer film on the life of the great chess champion, Porn Sacrifice, spelled differently and not the same meaning. But back here, you were telling us, Dharmesh, so not to get distracted about porn all the time, but now that you mentioned it, so you went there and on the side of your festival is this porn sort of festival convention, which is a serious convention.
just a few days before, there's a whole convention that happens for porn buyers, if I may put it that way, around the world for adult TV networks.
Never heard of those guys. Who buys porn? Wow.
Yeah, who buys it?
Really?
What's
Just
the point?
look. You don't have to keep it. Do you keep porn or no?
No, I
You
just
view the
stream
same thing again and
I
again?
just stream it. It's easier.
There you go. What about you, Chavi? A delicate question. You may not answer if you don't want to, but I don't like to be sexist.
I'll pass on answering.
But would you buying is whatever. To each his own. Go
We
on.
live in India, man. Who the hell buys anything?
So yeah, there are people out there, and it's a huge business. I mean, there are annual
Have you ever
awards that
considered
happen in
yourself
Vegas.
leaving Star and joining one of these websites and being part of the convention?
Well, if the money's good, someday.
And also your passion, your true passion can finally be
Yeah,
appreciated. All right, let's leave that alone. Let's move on now to Star and all its lineup of shows. So you've suddenly got you've got like 5 talk host shows happening at the same time.
2, yeah.
2, well, okay.
So there's one on Star World, and there's
Jimmy Kimmel,
So Jimmy Kimmel
he's
Live
a
was on
party
Star
boy
World.
who's done well in America. Apro Jimmy. And
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Star World Premiere.
is Stephen Colbert straight?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. Not that that's important, but I was just wondering.
I have
I
no
watched
clue.
him ask a question of Donald Trump on the show. No, not Donald Trump, of Cruz, Senator
Yeah,
Cruz.
Okay.
Where he asked him about not supporting the gay marriage thing. And it was actually the audience started booing. I'm presuming that a very Democrat audience sort of goes for these shows.
Oh,
so
totally.
Republican
Absolutely.
candidates really suffer. Why do they go there and get shot at? because it's clear the agenda is not the agenda of the audience, and no
but
support
you know
from
what?
them.
There are people who've actually tackled these interviews pretty well also sometimes. Like, for example, when Trump went to...
Yeah, he was good.
Trump went to Fallon as well.
Yeah.
And people were... in the beginning, they were booing him, but by the end of it, they were all cheering. And I mean, however
Story goes,
stupid he
Jimmy
might
had
be.
Fallon for him.
So, yeah.
Back
I mean,
to
yeah,
porn.
but yes, majorly a Democratic audience on these
Why
shows.
are all
usually.
talk shows a host in America called Jimmy? What's with that?
You know, that's
law.
so there's Jimmy Kimmel, there's Jimmy Fallon, and that's it.
There's one more Jimmy.
There's James Corden.
Yeah, but he's Jimmy to me because we're close. Anyway, but these talk shows, you've also got lots of new shows. The show that we're all excited about, and I'm not being sarcastic, I can't sleep thinking about it, is a show called Quantico, which is spelled with a Q, and stars India's greatest thespian, Priyanka. My accent is absolutely not fraudulent. Chopra. I watched the promos, and the sense I got is she has a lot of sex in the show. Because there's a lot of mention about sex was happening. And I'm hooked. I'm going to say I'm hooked.
Sex.
It works.
But you've seen it, right?
So I've seen the first episode.
Okay.
I've seen the first episode.
Was there a lot of sex?
No, just like the first 2 minutes and that's it. After
That sounds like my sex.
After that, she's just pretty much on the run. So.
Sorry about that. But then, whatever. Go on. So tell us about that show.
So it's basically a story of Quantico, the base where FBI agents
train
get
these
trained.
guys.
Yeah, and Priyanka's one of the candidates. And it's a show where the storytelling goes flash forward, flashback, flash forward, flashback.
I
a lot.
hate that.
Yeah,
Will
but
Anil
you know what, they've
Anil
not,
Kapoor be making a Hindi version of that soon? Like he did with 24? Is that the next?
And will he play Priyanka Chopra?
I
I don't
presume
know.
he should. I mean, I wouldn't see why not.
Oh well. So basically,
It's only 2 minutes, right? In the beginning, after which is a very straight show.
It's pretty much a straight show, correct? But too much hair. So
where is the question again?
I was just
Let the
thinking-
viewer
Anil
decide.
Kapoor.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to say it properly.
So
Shavi, you're not letting the
basically,
guy talk with your interruptions. A
Sorry.
banal conversation from your side.
Anil Kapoor hair thing.
Not Anil, banal, the brother. Go on.
So basically it's about, and so it starts.
She's on the
with,
run. I figured that out.
No, so it starts with an explosion, and they call it the biggest attack on U.S. soil after.
We
9/11.
call it an item number, but it's totally different. Yeah.
And then it comes back to the point where they've just joined Quantico and they're getting trained, etc., etc. And then there are some shady characters within the team. I mean, you get little hints here and there. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly you're...
So is she good or... it's not clear is she good or bad? Obviously
It's not clear whether she's
not
good
clear.
or bad.
So that promo...
So even Star World promos are saying...
in fact, the people...
innocent
8-minute long promo. Of course she's good. She's the one trying to crack the case because she's been implicated for it.
I mean, hey.
Hey, hello. Depends on whose side you're on.
How do you know?
What if you're not on America's side? We have viewers who are not on America's side.
Well, she's not non-American.
What if you're on
She's
Colors
just
Infinity
vaguely
side?
brown
If you're on
it.
Colors Infinity side, then she's bad. Think about it from the right perspective. You're never thinking. I want you guys to think more. You don't think.
But also...
I'm still recovering from that tragedy of Worley on Tuesday. Huh? So I get like a menstrual problem in my body at any point now and just go berserk.
God, what is he saying?
Why? We also suffer from it. You women can't take everything because you can get pregnant. We can't get pregnant. What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, this sexism has to end. Dharmesh, stay on point, please.
All said and done, it's a pretty good pilot. It's
You bloody chumcha.
No.
You're on the friggin' payroll.
No. So
Does it mean to you as much as the porn show that you saw in Cannes a few months ago? What would you rather watch? That lovely show or Quantico? And they rhyme in time.
So when I sat down to watch it, I had zero expectations. I thought
Because you watch a body of work and not always impressed.
I'm not. I must admit, I'm not.
Mary
Priyanka
Combe, for
Chopra fan at
example,
all.
was the first time a North
I never
Indian-
saw it.
Neither did Mary Combe. She just cried at the end because it was really not her thing.
So I did not expect much from it, and because usually I'm not a big fan of shows where there's one token Indian-looking character put
It should
there
be the token black, now token Asian. Too many tokens.
So
where are the white people? Yeah.
And eventually it turned out to be a pretty good pilot. So, and let me tell you, after so long, ABC, the home network it's on in the USA,
Is back on
is
track.
giving it so much push. Like they bought out all of Times Square. If you are in LA, everywhere, all you see is Priyanka Chopra's face, literally everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And this is the most money they
God, if
spent.
I leave India, go to Times Square and see Priyanka Chopra, having seen her all over India, I'd feel like I'm migrating to Canada. I mean, really, think about this. Is this good?
They shot the show in Canada, by the way.
I'm sure they did to save money, those cheap Americans. Yeah, go on.
So, and this is the most amount of money ABC is spending after a show to promote it in 8 years.
Also,
so it looks like they're
ABCL,
confident.
the Indian version, Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited, also spent the most but went bankrupt. But it's a whole new story. No Priyanka Chopra in that one.
So do you think casting her was actually to get the Indian audience?
No, of course,
No,
that didn't cross
I
my
really
mind.
doubt it. So basically,
What? You think that she was cast for her talent?
For her dancing ability.
I mean, no. So I really don't think it's for the Indian. Because India is a very minuscule market for
There are
American
Indians
dishes.
in America. They're
Yeah,
trying
but-
to make like the Kumar family or whatever reality shows for Indians and things.
Yeah, but
But that's novelty value because they want to see like you like there's something called Fresh Off the Boat, which is an Asian family.
I like that show.
I love it too.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, but this is like Blackish. Like there's a black family.
I don't like
people
that
outside.
show.
It's actually pretty good. Like the first
Anthony
episode,
Anderson is like trying too hard, I feel.
he does. I agree.
I like the lady. She's good.
Oh, she's good. I like the kids too. They're
The
pretty
kids
good.
are fun. Kids are good, yeah.
So and
When I say I like the kids, you know what I mean.
yes.
Because I don't know what you mean. I'm a little scared, Dharmesh, because you smiled in an evil way when you said that. Sorry, go on.
And she actually auditioned for the role.
Who?
So Priyanka. She didn't just.
She
I
stood
mean,
in
that's
line with
what-
500 actresses. Our diva from Mumbai would be like hanging around, waiting in line in the hot sun somewhere.
Well,
and
that's what the
Some
news
of
stories
video
say, and I believe the news stories.
It's all true. But I want to ask you one thing. We have not discussed this, and before we go into break, we must. And that is something we all need to do. What accent does she use? I'm not clear. I've worked with her before, and when she speaks in English, there's a certain mixed accent. 4 to 5 cultures come to mind, including the Tuaregs, as well as the Byzantine Empire. If you've ever met anyone from 8,000 years ago.
I have no clue. All I know is she calls Quantico.
Quantico?
And she calls
Quantico.
herself Alex.
Or maybe
So-
she just needs to go to the toilet. Wanna go?
She's the
Wanna go?
generic
Wanna go?
brown person.
Yeah, she is. But yeah,
What is this generic brown person thing? They've got Hispanic people who are brown there as well.
Yeah, but
They didn't
they're
come
not
all the way to
giving
Bombay and
us
pick her up.
any sort of origin story. Her name is Alex.
There's
Like,
no-
how
what is the name,
generic
Alex?
can you
Alex
get?
Parrish.
What is that
Parrish.
song? Who? Alex? Who the is Alex? Really? I mean, come on.
Yeah. So
What is
Alex
his surname?
Parrish.
Parrish.
Yeah.
That sounds very wasp, doesn't it?
God knows. I mean, I'm hoping there will be some backstory in the following.
Maybe she was
episodes.
adopted. Maybe she was adopted.
that would do it.
Look, any Manmohan Desai film will clear this up. They just need to go back to the 70s and 80s, talk to our people. Our people get in touch with their people. We'll work this out. My sunglasses have fallen, and we're in a cold studio without any sun. So what we'll do is we'll take a break while I pick up my sunglasses, and we'll carry on. Priyanka Chopra's Quantico opens next weekend here on Star World, and in the US this weekend. We're only 7 days behind America. So get your green card now. Man, I just got information from our producer here on Cyrus Says, Amit Doshi, who is not involved with any TV network, that she's actually Indian origin in the show, if you pay attention. Dharmesh, bolo yaar.
Now you know how good the show is.
No,
Should I pay?
it's all right. You went to Cannes. There was adult entertainment. You got distracted. Hey, I don't blame you. I've seen Priyanka Chopra movies in Bollywood. Yeah, but the jokes apart, it looks pretty good. Pretty slick.
It does look
and
pretty slick. It does
lot of
look pretty
action.
good. Lot of action too.
And their action is a little better than ours, let's face it. We
No,
are
that's
better than we
hands
were
down.
before, but you know.
Hands down.
It looks authentic. You do get scared when a truck hits a person on the road, like that.
I mean,
and-
it's simple. It's simple, right? It's all about the budgets. I mean, the kind of money we put behind our TV shows here, and the kind of money they put behind it. Like for example, a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Per episode, they spend about $6 million.
Yeah.
What's the equivalent here?
Saas
$6
Kabhi
million
Bahoti
is-
would be.
No,
Oh,
for sure.
equivalent here. I don't know. Mahabharat.
Oh, CID. Have you seen CID?
Oh.
CID action sequences are in slow motion. I thought it was the highlight of the show when I first saw it.
Okay,
it's
listen.
not the highlights. It's actually
But
the show.
Mahabharat, I mean, no jokes. If Mahabharat was picked by HBO to make a show,
It'd be
I
super.
think it'd be bigger and it'd be more
Yeah,
awesome than Game
yeah.
of Thrones. The storyline that Mahabharat has.
Storyline's not the
I
problem.
think-
It's the action sequences and the bad magic effects that happen in the
Yes,
middle.
with those
when
arrows
suddenly-
taking 2 days.
Yeah, but
to-
Mahabharat, I think if anybody.
No, and
made-
the lighting switches when the weapons go into the sky and all that.
yeah, but if you put some real money behind
Yeah.
Mahabharat, I think it'd be.
Chalo,
it'd
why
be
don't you talk
fantastic.
to them and figure this out for us?
we can do this. We
someday.
have the budget here in our podcast. You just give me numbers. Let's talk numbers.
6 million, you said?
6 million. Yeah, it's roughly about 36 crores an episode.
6 million without editing, huh? There's not 20 million on edit after that.
36 crores an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shoot over
So
a
they're
week.
going to
million.
make that money back.
So,
Chavi,
for Hollywood, it's easier, right? Because the shows get syndicated in a lot of countries. So, say for example, a Game of Thrones, they would syndicate it. I mean, it's on the home network HBO in most countries,
Yeah.
but every country does pay licensing fees to them.
Right.
So, for example, forget HBO shows. Let's talk about something like Quantico. Once it does take off, and I mean, I know it's already been syndicated in about 18 to 19 countries before it's even premiered. So, once it actually does hit the air and it does do a little well, and the ratings are good. It's like there have been shows which have been 120, 130 countries have been syndicated. Like shows get dubbed into languages,
Yeah.
etc. So there is enough money.
in fact,
like you'll
Chavi,
easily make
I
back
have
that
a
$6 million.
list of topless shows where the people don't wear clothes above the waist. All doing really well right now as we speak.
Syndicated to how many countries?
177 countries. 3 countries are being born just to see the show. They're seceding from the big country. We want to see the show on our own. They're moving away as we speak.
Excellent.
So making back that money is not a big deal for them, at least.
All right, Dharmesh, we got to move away from this story because my listeners are getting very bored and irritated. One has slapped the other because they don't want to know how you make money or don't make money. They want to know what she wears in the show and at the end if she lives or dies. Can you just tell us, Quantico?
Don't know what she wears. Most parts of the show where the first episode, I think she wears a white
Why are you
t-shirt.
actually answering my question?
I don't
That's
know.
the
I
fear
thought
that
you were
I'm
being
having.
serious.
I mean, unbelievable. You're looking at it in your mind to think about what she bloody
Yeah, and
wears.
you just made me picture Priyanka Chopra.
You didn't give us the accent, but I'll let it go. I'll let the accent go. The acting is fantastic. Whatever we've seen, the running, her back-to-camera shots,
it's fun.
very nice.
It's
So I
not
was
bad.
reading this New
It's
York
not
Times
bad.
op-ed because somebody had obviously seen the preview,
Mm-hmm.
the pilot, and they said that the only drawback could be that she's actually too composed and too...
It may be a Pakistani journalist. They generally go
it's
after
the New York
Indian
Times
actors.
television guy. That he said she just seems too poised.
But by the way, if you remember, when Vidhu Vinod Chopra releases Broken Horses, they tore him apart. So I don't know if America is ready to respect the brown Indian
No, see,
filmmaker,
I
actor.
really doubt that.
Except
really
Irfan Khan,
they thought
who they
she
think
was
is very
good.
good looking because there's really
That's
screwed
bizarre.
up people.
That's bizarre.
No,
the-
so
the-
whatever, till now, whatever I've been reading in
it was
the
praise.
press, they actually think she's pretty good. Everybody's saying
Yeah.
she's
Really?
doing a good job, etc., etc.
But she doesn't have that sort of
I have a copy of the
nervous-
Jame Jamshed which says, okay, average.
Oh, really?
Agar theek hai, pachal not so good.
No. So she's supposed to be really young and
Yeah.
really naive
Yeah.
and put into this mess that she has to sort out. That's
Yeah.
all they were saying. Is that she's
So
clearly got
everybody's
too much
saying she's pretty
experience.
good.
We've dedicated the whole show to Priyanka Chopra. I like her, but not so much.
Okay, let's talk about other things.
And then
What about
the only other
Emmys?
person we mentioned is Vidhu Vinod Chopra. We want to get Yash Chopra into this now.
No,
When is this
no
going to
more
end?
Chopras. Enough.
Let's move on to the Emmys quickly, can we?
Yeah, let's.
Good idea,
quick word on
Cyrus.
quick
Good
word on the
idea.
Emmys.
I like
My
how you
question to
did
you,
that.
Dharmesh, it's your channel who brought us the Emmys. Very nice, but I thought the Andy Sandberg and
Andy
gang were a
Samberg,
little
yeah.
off color.
Do you watch Brooklyn
They didn't
Nine-Nine?
get they didn't get the audience with them. Like
I'll be
some-
honest with you,
yeah.
the last 5 years that I've seen the Emmys, Seth Meyers,
Yeah,
Neil
fell
Patrick
flat.
Harris, I haven't
But
seen
is
a
it-
good host at the Emmys or the Oscars in the last 5 years.
And Ricky
I'll be
Gervais
very
went
honest.
over the head.
Ricky Gervais was Golden Globes. He was pretty good, but then obviously didn't
He
sit
upset
well with the
everyone.
audience.
No, but what I'm asking you here is not whether they're good, but the audience, is it very competitive and not wanting to be with the host?
No.
Because what I'm thinking is Sandberg is not getting anything from them. Although we enjoy Brooklyn 99, which is on the
Yeah.
other channel that I watch a lot of. I must say that we watched the show, me and my best friend Kunal, we hugged and watched. And I have to say that we never felt that the audience, when a host is doing well, except Jimmy Kimmel, I liked his bit a lot.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel is on Star World at 4 o'clock every evening and 10 o'clock every evening.
So
Monday to
it's
Thursday.
funny you say Jimmy Kimmel because the last time a host actually took the whole crowd with him was when Jimmy Kimmel hosted the Emmys a few years ago.
Correct.
And this has been happening year on year. Like for example, even Ellen, she had her bits at the Oscars.
Right.
Neil Patrick Harris did the Oscars and the Emmys.
Yeah.
There are just bits.
And Neil
they're
Patrick
good
Harris
at.
looks like Ellen, so it was very confusing.
So they're good in parts, but none of the hosts.
But what's with that? Look
I
at
don't know.
Saif Ali Khan and Shah Rukh, man. Yeah, learn from them. How witty.
I think
Ranbir Kapoor, hilarious.
I think like for example, at least in Sandberg's case, I think the humor becomes very absurdist and
Yeah.
leaves most people out.
Yeah.
Like that brand of humor is very. He's still in that SNL mold that he was on. And SNL is not a very
and it's
universal
all
thing.
tongue-in-cheek, personal,
Yeah.
inside
That's what-
jokes that he seems to be cracking.
Yeah.
He
Like
was-
I loved one joke where he said
he's riding the Oscar woman.
the True Detective joke that he cracked. I think that was fantastic.
Yeah.
But then there's only so many things which
But
are mainstream.
it's not a competitive crowd which is like
I really
not
doubt
trying to
it.
give
No, I
give
really
back.
doubt it.
Because
I really doubt
that just brings it down. And then when Anthony Anderson came on with
Yeah.
the leading lady from
Yeah.
Blackish,
Yeah.
I thought they were flat as well.
Yeah, they were
Nobody
flat as
laughed
well.
at all, and I'm like, what the hell's happening?
But that's the thing, right? They don't write their own bits, most of them.
Yeah, true.
It's written for them. Now, they wouldn't know. I mean, if I give you, maybe you would. Now you're going to give me a wisecrack. But if I write a line for you and you have to deliver it, you're not going to deliver it the same way
That's
you
not
write
an
a line.
excuse because they know what's happening. They rehearse it, they come, they
No,
can
they
argue,
do,
they
they
can
do,
fight,
they
they
do.
can change. So suddenly last minute, you can't give me that. And it's what, it's not about the joke. It's about not getting the audience in. Some
I
jokes
agree.
work, some jokes don't work. I get the feeling that the audience is not with them ever.
Yeah,
When you have a
that's true.
host where the
I
audience
agree.
is eating
I
out
agree.
of,
Like the last time, I remember the last time I truly enjoyed watching the host a ceremony was, I think, 2008 when Hugh Jackman did the Oscars.
Yeah.
And he was
It's huge
fantastic.
Ackman.
So when Hugh Jackman did the Oscars.
Huge Ackman.
He was fantastic.
The Aussies are the best. I'm a
But
big
after
Aussie
that,
fan.
I can't remember a single memorable
Yeah.
hosting gig. Not one.
Chavi, you don't care about this because you're not interested in comedy like we are.
Of course I am.
I felt very sad
I was
because
trying to bring the Indian connect in. So what do you
there's
think
no
of
Indian
Film
connect.
Fair
Tom
Awards?
Alter is the only guy who's ever gone to the Emmys.
No. But award shows here. Do you think the hosting is any good?
Are you out of your mind? What the hell's wrong with you, woman? Why would we watch the
You're
Emmys?
so critical of these guys at the Emmys. They're doing a much better
Listen,
job than
we do
anybody here
our
does.
award show. Starts at, they tell you come at 5, and then it starts at 8:30, and then they change the presenter all the time because he's stuck at Wally C Link or he can't come out of Filmstan or whatever it is. It's another whole. The jokes are about that really. That's
Have
the
you
truth.
ever hosted a award ceremony?
I have. I've hosted Femina. I've hosted the film fair.
Was it fun?
It was fun, but you know they don't allow you to do too much. They keep
But did
coming,
you
telling
get to
what
write
do.
your own bits or somebody?
I
had to
just
write them?
wing as much as I can. They give you the basic stuff, and then I wing it after that because it's all, at my time it was all serious.
Right.
Then when they started using these Bollywood guys, started using more humor.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it was
I
good
think
fun.
the first time somebody actually spoke about it a lot was when Saif and Shah Rukh hosted the Filmfare
Yeah.
Awards.
Right.
I think they were okay the first year, and the second year they just were terrible.
Yeah.
So it was like a novelty thing. Somebody wrote it well, and they delivered it.
And in
the
India,
next
it's all
time
about
they
the
sucked.
star power coming on and trying to be funny, so people accept it. But these guys are skilled comedians, and it's very sad to see them fall flat. Like
Yeah,
Samberg
absolutely.
and all.
I
I mean,
agree.
they can carry an audience wherever he goes. Should be
I
doing
agree.
better.
But you know what Jimmy Kimmel is? It's funny you said
But
that.
his bit about eating the
every
thing,
bit that, he
that worked
does,
very well.
Every bit that he does, Kimmel, in any award show in the last 4-5 years, if you see,
Very good.
He's actually really good. Like even on his show, the little bits that he does, like
Yeah.
he'll do.
I prefer Kimmel to Fallon, if you're asking.
So my favorite on
Let's
late
not be
night right
Jimmy
now is
racist.
Kimmel.
If you're Jimmy
I agree.
racist like me, then I prefer Kimmel.
I like Kimmel too.
Yeah.
But
we're not gay. Just tell her because she's her mouth is open. This is two men who enjoy comedy.
Jimmy.
Yeah, all right, don't sing. Don't do it's not that funny a show.
I really
Yeah.
think Kimmel's good. I really like Kimmel. I like Fallon as well. I'm hoping Stephen Colbert finds his feet sooner than later. I used to love the Colbert Report.
Yeah, but it's a totally different character.
He used to play a character there.
Yeah, but here he's playing himself. He's not
And
bad.
He's not bad at all.
I don't mind
He's
it.
good.
But
He's
I think
good.
I would place Kimmel 1 and then a dead heat for Colbert and Fallon.
I like Fallon the best, if
Yeah.
anybody's asking.
You like
No,
Fallon
I'm
the
just
best.
saying,
So I'll tell you
Kimmel-
what, Fallon has the best bits in his show,
Yeah.
like the music performances, the little games.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the best
Yeah.
part about the
The
Fallon
acting
show.
bits are great.
But
I love the acting
The
bits.
problem with Fallon that I think is a problem is when he's interviewing a person, he laughs more than anybody else.
Yeah, and
Like,
if the
he
guy,
laughs at
and the
little
guy's
jokes.
funny, all he does is laugh.
Yeah,
He just keeps laughing because he
keeps
doesn't want to keep
laughing.
up with the other guy.
And he
You
can't
notice that.
control himself.
Yeah.
And I think that
I think he
doesn't-
even urinates while laughing, and because he's always looking down. So that might be a problem too.
So that's why
I'm not jealous
Kimmel,
that
I think
I didn't
is-
get a show like Jimmy Fallon to do on Jimmy
Kimmel
Fallon.
is pretty much, I think, the best of the lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And Jimmy Kimmel looks Parsi. If you look at him, actually, he looks Bawa.
But neither of them won the Outstanding Variety Talk Series.
That doesn't matter.
Listen, that's because
Come
Jon
on.
Stewart is the king.
And Jon Stewart's retiring. Now, after giving it to him 30 years
Listen,
in a row.
even Letterman retired, so you should have.
But Letterman everybody hates. Jon Stewart everybody loves. He's like a nice guy in TV. People like him who work with him.
No,
But
Jon
Letterman-
Stewart is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and
There
no,
is-
he's a nice human being. People like him.
Absolutely,
I'm saying
yeah,
Letterman
he's
is hated as a human being.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a very mean person. He's a
but
bit
it would
like
have
Amit
been
Doshi.
nice to give
He
it to
slaps
Letterman
you,
after 30 years.
abuses
when he
you.
was leaving.
Sorry?
It would have been nice to give it to Letterman when he was just leaving after like 32 years.
Well, after he's had sex with every single woman on his show, I think he's got enough to look back at in terms of trophies. Anyway, let's move away from here. There's lots more to talk about. Dharmesh, we want to talk about the world. It's not your bloody Star World, the world that we need to talk about. We'll take a quick break, then we'll come back. But first, a couple of lines, music with Chavi. Music, Chavi, sing.
No.
Lovely. That's it, break. Ready? We've decided, me and Dharmesh here on the show. Dharmesh, by the way, runs Star World. If you want your show to be on Star World or Star Extra, what are the other channels called? Star Super,
Hotstar.
Star Miller. Hotstar is the website.
Web portal. The web portal.
Yeah, the web portal, Hotstar, Star at me and I'll star at you, whatever, all the other channels. Dharmesh Gandhi's phone number is 9820187455. Call him anytime you want to, SMS him with details, send him pictures of your parents in a bath. That's the kind of thing he gets excited about. Chavi, we have lots more to talk about. Moving away from TV now, what else can we talk about? It's been a
We're
good
not
week.
going to talk about cricket. That's one thing we're not going to talk about.
Well, no, Dharmesh is not a big fan of cricket, but there are other things that he'd like to talk about. Subramaniam Swamy moved the Madras High Court, mind you, it's Madras, not Chennai, against Rajasthan Royals and Chennai Super Kings. Also, his desire to become the JNU head, but we'll come to that later. So, Subramaniam Swamy, always a controversial figure. Dharmesh, what is your thoughts about some of our great controversial figures of this generation where he's won the top 5? I call him SS, with no pun intended, you know.
Yes. I have absolutely no views.
You're lovely. I like you. You go watch porn. You pretend to watch other shows. You tick on the box on the right, and they decide that these are the shows they play. You come back, give us a mouthful of bloody Quantico, a mouthful of bloody Emmys, and I ask you one question about India.
Listen,
you racist man, and you're not interested.
I don't watch the IPL.
news.
I think IPL is pointless.
You want to watch comedy? You watch Subramaniam Swamy. You want to watch funny? You watch people I mentioned in India. That's funny, not Jimmy bloody Kimmel. Anyone can read out somebody else's jokes on a teleprompter after 10 takes. Oh, that's what I do. Anyway, that's not the point. Young lady? Would you like to take this question about Subramaniam Swamy? Not interested?
No.
Okay, we've had a topic rejected after 5 episodes. Really, 5 webisodes. Actually got a topic rejected because the guest says, I don't want to talk about it. It bores me. And I think that's a very noble the way to put it, and I'm not going to argue. So let's move on then to the next outstanding moment of the week, which is the Bihar elections. How excited are you, Dharmesh? Gandhi, sitting in South Mumbai in your air-conditioned comfort? How will it affect you whether JDU or BJP comes to power with their allies?
Good question.
Good
I want
question.
to see how
No,
Dharmesh answers
I
this.
have no clue. And you didn't even give it to me on the cue sheet. What the hell?
What are you? Doing your Emmys now? Anthony Anderson? You want everything in advance?
I thought somebody'd write this bit for me.
This is not a bit.
You didn't tell me this.
It's a still to happen bit. We haven't got the bit yet. The elections still have to happen. But okay,
correct.
let's talk about something you can talk about. Namoji has already gone to New York.
Correct.
As we speak, he's there. Of course.
So is the Pope.
So is the Pope. Yes. Now, listen. Let's watch our humor on this one. And so is the beta.
The beta?
The Baba. The Lada. The King of Congress. The Prince himself,
My
Rahul
old
Gandhi.
boy.
Even him?
Rahul
Really?
Gandhi's gone to attend some conference of world leaders.
In New York?
Yes.
What is he doing at a conference of leaders?
Don't ask me questions. I'm telling you what's happening. I don't have any answers. My worry is, what do you think Namo and Raga hang out? Now, because they're two Indians. See, Desi is always more comfortable abroad. Happened to me.
Go eat Indian
You guys
food
have stayed
together.
abroad.
Yeah, they're going to go to some curry house and eat some
Exactly.
paneer
The
tikka masala.
truth is, we're like that. We'll go to the same Bollywood special treat night, and we'll find all the Sharmas and Senguptas and Shahs and all together there. And then suddenly Raga will say, Raga, Namo. Next thing you know, chatting, having chai ke charcha, enjoying New
As long as they
York.
don't find the Pope there, it's fine.
What is your thing
I
with
know
the Pope,
is
bro?
going to hang out with them.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
Pope, by the way, is very
He's
liberal.
pretty cool,
He's
huh?
a very
He's got
liberal
better
Pope.
things
Right?
to do.
Yeah,
Very
he
good.
is.
Did you read about the girl who ran through the cordon? I can't understand this. They have the greatest, this is the most powerful religious figure in the world.
Yeah.
In terms of security, it's like bigger than Obama. And a 7-year-old girl was able to break the cordon, run up to him and say, hello, your eminence, or whatever they use the word, and discuss the issues of migration and immigration.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't read that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But it's amazing
It's
what
really
he's
small
been
to be good
like
through.
his.
No, but how did she get through? My point is that. Only that.
Smallness.
Because they're really careful. They've got people from high, low, here,
Exactly.
there.
They're not
It's like
low
Quantico,
enough.
the truth.
Yeah, they need to have
Unless
small
Priyanka Chopra was in charge,
midget,
then I can
dwarf
understand.
Type of,
What are you going on about midgets?
they should have smaller
And you're not even
guards.
funny. You're actually saying it as a statement. You're actually saying they should have midgets guarding the Pope. Please tell us why. And write your script down. He can sell this one. So we've got a new story. The religious figure is guarded by
I
midgets.
even know who could play it. Anyway,
So what you're saying is it can only be attacked from below. Is that it?
they should at least account for
We
that.
call it from below. And no, fair enough. You're scaring me, Chavi. Listen, we have to be very careful who we're talking about. These are religious figures. These are leaders of national reputation.
I was
The
talking
two
about
biggest leaders.
Guards. You were talking about religion.
And then you discuss a whole lobby, a whole industry, a whole people. They're not called midgets. They're called people who are horizontally challenged. Am I right,
Yep.
Dharmesh?
Actually, I
Vertically
think the
challenged,
word is
vertically.
dwarfs.
Vertically and
Dwarfism is a
horizontally.
thing.
Horizontally is me. Yeah, sorry.
And women who are under
Dwarf is not
5'11"
allowed. You can't say that anymore.
Of course you can.
You can't.
It's a thing.
It's not a thing. It's like the word for African American people. You don't use the N word like that. You can't use the D word.
Dwarfism is a thing. You either have it or you don't.
What the hell are you talking about? I'm saying politically you can't say it.
But
Stay
it's
out of Jimmy Kimmel. You're not allowed on Jimmy Kimmel ever. You go to Jimmy Fallon and you stay there. Oh, Colbert.
Fine, I'll go hang out with Jimmy.
Really? My
Jimmy,
God.
Jimmy.
The things you say. Anyway, so we tried to get something out of this topic because we went away from television. We have grossly
But we
failed.
discussed the Pope.
Dharmesh has no interest in
discussed the
politics.
Pope.
The Pope.
Why did you go there? I didn't want to go there.
But
These
why
are
not?
grey areas, controversial areas. I didn't want to even go there.
But this Pope is pretty
I gave
cool.
you Raga and Namo, which I thought was cutting edge.
But I think this Pope is pretty cool.
Yeah, he is pretty cool.
Like some politician said, they invited him to dine with the congressman in Washington. He said no, and he dined with the homeless instead. I think that's pretty cool. It might be making.
It's like the equivalent of us, Indian Prime Minister going to Bangladesh and eating with them instead of eating with us. It's not right.
Instead of going to New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually.
Yeah, but I mean, lots is happening in New York. Yesterday, apparently, the flag was signed. And,
Yeah,
and-
that was a bit
So what do you
debatable.
think? Do you think it's?
No, we have to stop this flag nonsense because the flag is
Exactly.
something you respect, but
Yeah.
we're now in the 21st century
I agree.
and we need to enjoy the flag.
I agree.
Okay, it's not
Enjoy the
disrespecting the flag. No, everything can't be disrespect. Disrespect is when the intent is to disrespect. Malice is when the intent is to be malicious.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can. It's like blasphemy. If I want to disrespect your religion or the religion, then that's blasphemy. If an 8-year-old girl by mistake drops a holy book, it's not blasphemy. It's a mistake. How can you? It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I think you
But
have to see if
nothing
she
is as
floats
worse. Guys,
or
let's get to
sings.
the priorities here. Nothing is as bad as 4,000 rich women coming to Worli and destroying the city
That
for
was a
3
Monty
hours.
Python reference, by the way.
I heard it, but
I don't
I
think he knows.
disregarded
Yeah.
it. I don't know Monty Python. You've touched my nerve. You've touched my cord. You know how old I am. I only know Monty Python, you idiot. I had to read about Kimmel on my way here. It's Kimmel with a C, is it? All right, so we tried. Dharmesh, we tried to stop that stereotype of television producers and marketing experts being not interested in the rest of the world, but we failed. We can see now that the topics for today, when I say the topics, can only be Priyanka Chopra, her accent, her clothes, and maybe a little bit about midgets guarding the Pope. I can't get through that. That's my wall for today. Shall we do have any more topics that we can do?
We can go back to TV and we can talk about Mr. Bharti's dog.
Mr. Bharti's dog. You mean Mr. Bharti on the news?
Yeah.
Who's now with the Aam Aadmi Party?
Yeah.
Who now has assaulted his wife apparently and is
But
going
the
to
dog
court.
doesn't bite on command.
The dog doesn't bite on command. All right, as we talk about the dog doesn't bite on command, which is a very important subject, hold that horse, a metaphor for dog. As we move on to one last debate that I need to have, Indian TV content,
Yeah.
both Hindi and English and regional, versus American content, because now you're exposed to both worlds.
Right.
When I say that, I mean that you're also exposed to India.
There's
because
Indian programming
You've been
in
forced to watch Indian
I
programming.
mean, there's talk shows in English.
Oh,
Yeah.
not those. Yeah, okay.
All right,
Fair enough.
go on.
No, so
How do you rate us against them? Let's just be honest.
It depends. I think if it's not
Production, you
because-
already half answered that. Production values, money.
Yeah, it's never gonna. I mean, we are never gonna be able to put in that kind of money that Hollywood actually. So I think we can
We
still
shouldn't compare.
achieve. We can still achieve great heights in terms of non-fiction as far as talk shows go or chat shows go or news shows go. Like for example, not because it's on my channel, but I think Coffee with Karan is a fantastic show.
Right.
As far as
I think
production
coffee is a
values are-
fantastic concept. Forget Karan.
So
Yeah.
it's a great show as far as the production values go,
Yeah.
the quality of guests.
Yeah.
The
Also, the
quality of
question about
questions.
if you had to sleep with a man, who would you choose? Some of those questions are very riveting. I would not miss those. I would record it and see it again and again.
But when it comes to fiction,
He's not even taking the bait.
when it comes to fiction, I think fiction is. I don't think.
So how does
we
our
have-
24 compare with their 24? For example, I think that's a fair comparison.
In my opinion, I think 24 was done pretty well.
The Hindi version.
The Hindi version. the one with Anil Kapoor.
24.
Yeah, no, it was still called 24.
What the hell?
It was
That's a
still
lie.
called
That's
24.
English. I'm not watching
Like
it.
for example, even Yudh, the show that Amitabh Bachchan was on.
What is it?
It was a show on.
No, I know the show. Is it English show as well?
No, it was Hindi.
Oh, okay, so they didn't want to redub it in
I
English.
mean, yeah, it was, if you look at the storyline, it was totally a lift off from a show called Boss.
What are you
And-
saying?
Yeah, totally.
We
Absolutely.
ripped off a script. Indians? Oh,
they license
that makes you
it?
lying.
No, they license it.
You're having me on this
They
one. There's
license it.
Indians? We did that? We picked up a plagiarized? No.
How did it run for more than a season?
No, it did
Don't
one
talk to him, he's
season,
lying.
and it was pretty bad.
We don't do that.
Okay, but here's my opinion. I think Indians, whether it's by choice or because this is what they've been force fed, are just like we just have more sagas. Everything takes hours to unfold. Like,
I think too much
soap
makeup is a
opera
big
mode.
issue when you're sleeping with your husband and you've got so much kajal on. I mean, what the hell? If he
wake up
kisses you, his
looking
tongue
like-
will be black. You know what I mean? Just think about it.
Kissing you on
There's
your
some
eye?
ridiculous
What?
things that are happening. Please, TV producers out there, no makeup in bedroom sequences.
talking about the
Well,
content. Like, look at
unless
the-
you're sleeping with an actress who's on stage.
Look
Yeah.
at these Jhansi Ki Rani and what Ekalavya and all this
The other
nonsense.
problem
Ekalavya
here is
was
that
a movie.
the other point to note as far as Hindi TV is concerned, India is very used to watching a show 5 days a week or 6 days a
Right,
week.
right.
Now, the kind of money that you have to put in to produce 5 episodes a week,
Mm-hmm.
the time and money both, as opposed to say 24 episodes in the whole year in the US
Mm-hmm.
or on premium cable just 13.
season, right.
So the time you can spend, the resources you can spend are much lesser, and you can amplify those resources here. You got to actually deliver something every day.
So do you think we can get out of that, or are people not?
I
gonna
don't
do it?
think. I
So
don't
why
think
do you
the
have to copy
audiences
them?
are ready. Like for example, 24. Why did it not do well? Because it was doing 1 episode a week, and
But
so
people can do what people like
Appointment-
me
No, but then
do.
they'd have to call it 144 or something to do more, because the whole match will go out of place. You have 24 hours and then
So
you
the whole
know-
appointment viewing bit, I don't think, at least the Hindi audiences are very averse to it. Like, for example, even shows, unless it's a reality show that's once a week, you see the numbers, people don't come
Okay,
back
one
to
last
watch.
question. Why don't cooking shows do well in general entertainment? cooking shows in India.
There's one top
Like-
chef
Australia
half
does.
No, but that's not general. I'm talking about in
half
Hindi.
naked. What is
Not
that?
a single cooking show works in Hindi. Really, a big show with food, but it works in English. Any reason why?
I mean,
People who speak Hindi don't cook.
So MasterChef India on Star Plus did marginally well, not brilliantly or as much a fiction. Any other reality, because you'd put it in the same category. So any other,
But in the
say,
small
Dance
segment,
India-
MasterChef Australia rocks. A much
No,
smaller segment, but it
absolutely.
rocks.
No, absolutely,
MasterChef
absolutely.
India makes no impact. That's the
I
truth.
agree, yeah.
That poor chef walked down the street the other day and somebody pushed him and said, "Get out of the way." Nobody knew who he was.
yeah.
So it's not right.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. I actually...
Go back to your masters and tell them about this MasterChef mess up.
Okay, I want to come back to this. What did you call it? Appointment
But,
viewing.
but can you do it with more
Binge
excitement?
viewing.
Because I'm falling asleep. Go on. Yes, go on. Appointment
can't
viewing.
stop
Hurry up. We don't have time.
Yeah, so what do you think about this? Like, do you watch your shows by appointment? Or
No,
do
so
you have to, right?
I do watch my
Has
shows by
recording
appointment,
killed your
but-
industry?
No, not really.
Oh,
I mean,
damn.
it's binge watching is huge and it's catching on around the world. Even
Because let's face it, people don't have time, or rather don't want to control their time better. So if they have the option, many people are going to just take it, record it, and do it according to their schedule.
That,
too.
yeah, no,
But you can
that's
still
true.
watch
but,
them once a week.
But you can still watch it once a week,
Yeah.
right?
For instance,
I can because I don't have work, but what about people who work?
Yeah.
Dharmesh, everyone's not like you and me. There are people who
Excuse me,
work.
Can I say something?
No, but you don't work either. Why are you
Oh,
talking?
get lost.
Oh, you work? Okay,
yes,
work.
I do. I just don't like the suspense. I just prefer when a series ends.
But is
and
it
then I
too
can
much
watch it all
overkill?
together.
If you watch it again and again and again and again, I mean...
Watching it again and again.
No, what I mean is you're watching 7 in a row.
I'm not watching 7 in a row.
I
I
watch
may watch
Orange-
one a day for
I watched
7
3
days,
episodes of Orange is the
rather
New
than
Black,
one
and I
a
love
week.
girly shows. Orange is the New Black is my favorite show. After the 3rd episode, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't tell who's who.
But I'll tell you
Stop
what I
watching it.
miss about
stopped.
what I miss about shows that I used to watch once a week earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not. What I miss is the whole suspense of it. Like, oh my god, what's going to happen next week?
But you still have that
No, you
suspense.
don't, because you have the answer immediately. Like after
Okay,
episode
so
2,
So
it's like
I
a quick
immediately
romance.
will know
Right,
what's
but
going
then
to
you have
happen.
the choice. Like,
So it's
am I
like
going
when
to
you
watch
date a
it now
girl
or
and then,
later?
you know,
But if
date
it's
her over
available,
many
why will you
months.
not?
Because
No
it's
one
time to go to
cares about my
sleep,
girl
or it's
on
time
my
to go
date.
out, or you have
Trying to
work
tell
to
them
do,
on my girl on my
or you
date,
have to
but-
feed your cat.
Quick analogy, metaphor.
the other
People will
funny-
understand. But
the
now
other
they're
funny
just having their own
part,
thing again.
Of course,
That I think.
So I'm going back to Worli and starting my dharna there because that's more important to me. One last question, Dharmesh.
Yes.
Can Colors Infinity rock your boat? Or other competitions, Z for example. Will they be able to catch up with you?
I have no comments.
Because in case you leave and join one of them, you've got to be a little careful. Ours is a small industry. One day you work here, one day you work there. Boom, boom.
Why don't you just hire me, Cyrus?
I work in a podcast. They shut the AC because you don't have budgets. You have no idea how much we suffer, Dharmesh. Anyway, you've been a wonderful guest, but since you refuse to answer anything outside TV, I salute and applaud you.
Thank you.
We will come back for one more section. We'll decide what to do with you. I think we'll just play with your hair and
Okay.
trim your beard.
Thank you.
Because that's something that people listen to
sounds
and
great.
appreciate.
Sounds
But you have been an eye-opener for us, especially Priyanka Chopra, porn, and how different people don't watch television at the same time. We'll come back. In the meantime, Chavi will sing. This is her bhajan that she's composed herself. It's a tribute to the podcast. Go ahead, I'll play the Veena. Veena, come and sit on my lap.
Cyrus Says, ask me anything. If you want Cyrus to answer your questions on air, send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com. If you send us a link to a sound file on SoundCloud, we'll even play you asking the question in your own voice. And that's what Cyrus says.
It used to be a 40-50 minute show, but 2 hours, 40 minutes have passed. At least this is how I feel after talking to Dharmesh. He's worn me down. One of those cars that doesn't reverse kind of thing. And I'm just tired and pained and hurt and anguish is setting in and I'm sweating profusely. And I may die, which is good. But we do have a section called AMA. And Dharmesh, although he's a TV guy, also has views on other things such as sex. Okay, just that's it. TV and sex. So Chavi, you'll have to help us with this one. AMA, ask me anything. What's up?
The first question is from Briefless Attorney,
I
Junior
love the
Counsel
guy.
on Twitter, who says, "Why haven't you all invited Cyrus, Saukar and Kunal Vijayakar as yet? That
Okay,
would be an
I'll
interesting
take this.
episode."
Can I take this one? Dharmesh, you want to take this one? I'll take this one.
I
Okay.
think it's
Cyrus
to you.
Saukar is like the two Jimmys, the two Cyruses. I hate the fact that he has the same name. I've asked him to call himself Govind. He's refused. Saukar has a time problem. He's a talented boy. He can be funny, especially between 11 and 12. But the problem is that he never comes on time. Dharmesh may or may not remember. He's a huge issue with punctuality. And I have a rule. I have a black book. You can be a racist. You can be a pedophile. You can be a rapist, arsonist. But if you're not on time, I never work with you. I just can't bear it. Because I go berserk and my organs start failing. And you know they're already failing. So no way. Saukar, we love you. But please, Go to another country. Let him work in Japan for 1 week. They'll jail him. They'll jail the bugger. And because he's 6'3", they'll jail him and he won't fit. So he'll come back like a bent scarecrow. And then he'll have to do some other show. He'll have to play Hunchback of Notre Dame for the rest of his life. In French, which he can't speak. But let's now talk about Kunal Vijayakar. The world's most boring man. And I kid you not. The world's most boring man. The moment everyone leaves and we're together, there's awkward silence between us because he's not a funny guy. He doesn't like to talk. He's not flippant. He's not sarcastic. By nature, he doesn't regress or isn't childish or juvenile. So I have nothing in common with him. I realize now the only thing we have in common is he pays for food. So I actually just go and eat with him and he pays. That's all. We say nothing to each other. So please don't bring him here. For God's sake, don't bring him here. He has nothing to say and he pontificates. And he was a chief guest at St. Mary's school once. People left the school because they asked him to say a few words. They were like, I think we need to get air conditioning put inside the school. People were like, what is he talking about? This is not something you talk about to all young kids. It's still very hot since my day. It was hot, now it's still hot. And, please, no Kunal Vijayakar. Briefless attorney, I hope I've answered.
Show already?
Oh, he has?
Yes.
He was so boring we don't remember. There you go.
Right.
Next question.
Next question is from the only listener, opsletter@gmail.
OPS letter?
Something like that. Anyway, so he says, Dear Cyrus, your podcasts have made Bangalore peak time traffic a wee bit more bearable. But I have finished listening to all your episodes twice. Why don't you do the episodes more frequently? Why?
Wow.
I hope I gave it enough angst.
Yeah, you did.
It's almost like are you sure we haven't plugged that question ourselves? Because you can't praise yourself even more. Oh, I've heard it twice, I want to hear it more. Who says that? What's wrong with this guy?
Anonymous person.
Scary. But Bangalore traffic, I nearly missed a flight. Have you guys gone to Bangalore recently?
I've missed a flight.
You missed a flight, right?
Not nearly, I've missed a flight at Bangalore.
So we went for this thing for whatever, and we're leaving, they told me 2 hours. 2 hours at 6 in the evening, it was an 8:30 flight. And we reached in 2 hours, 7 minutes, and we had to beg to get on the plane. And I was like, how does it take 2 hours, 7 minutes from the city center? It's not that much in kilometers. It's about 40-45 kilometers. It's ridiculous.
Bangalore traffic and Calcutta traffic are the two worst I have
Bangalore, you just sit
experienced in this country.
But why can't it change? When people get voted in, don't they think about this? They're also stuck? Oh, they're not stuck. They figured ways to get them out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very painful. Anyway, Mr. Bangalore, thank you for your support if you're telling the truth. If you're just being sarcastic and mean, fine. And don't listen to it twice. It's not like Shakespeare. You don't have to keep listening to understand. There's nothing more coming from us.
We can't do more episodes more frequently because, then you get bored. It's the whole
We can do lots of episodes. We need to find guests, Chavi.
Listening.
Our guest, Dharmesh, ran away on Wednesday, for example. Because he had to go to Delhi for a more important thing, which is like chief guest at one of these under 15 tournaments. All right. And we don't get guests. If we get our guests, we'll have more episodes. So if you're a guest and you want to be on our podcast.
I prefer my explanation.
No, but let me just say this. For a very small fee, 40 to 50,000 rupees, you can be on the show. And we'll make sure your self-importance and self-worth will be elevated to unbelievable heights. So whoever you are and whatever you've achieved in your life, it doesn't matter. We'll lie and make you sound better. At 50,000 rupees, I think it's a steal. We work normally Wednesday, 12 o'clock is when we like to record.
I have absolutely nothing to say to that. So moving on to the next question from Rohan Koshi, who said...
I had a Mrs. Koshi who taught me in school, and I had a Rohan Jacob who was my friend. Wow. I wonder. But no, the age gap was 37 years.
What is his name, Rohan or Jacob?
I'm just Rohan Koshi, so I'm just thinking, maybe.
He wants to ask you, and I don't quite know why.
Why?
Why do men at signals honk the moment it goes green?
I agree. That's one of my rants. He's taken away a rant.
Fly off the line like Formula 1.
You're Rohan, I bow to you. That's an excellent observation. Dharmesh, you want to take this another madness?
It's brilliant. I mean, I think it's amazing that as soon as it goes green, we'll go like...
Yeah. Oh, in case you're blind and you can't see color, I'm here to help you. My NGO save the blind. Ding, 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 ding. What the hell? Really, I salute this guy. He's bang on. Yeah. Chavi, you have no interest in male problems.
These are not male problems. These are problems that affect everybody, including me. I'm the person who wears earplugs when I travel.
But we really use the horn too much, no pun intended. Too much.
No, we do too much.
In Switzerland, I blew the horn, no pun intended, twice. Boom, they screamed at me from behind.
Good.
I mean, I've spent months in the US. I haven't heard honking.
Never.
It's a big deal if you honk at somebody.
Or you get shot.
LA, there's enough cars and more. Like, there are more cars than there are people. But you never hear people honk.
But we just do it. It just seems to be natural. It's like, what do I do? I'll just keep playing the horn. Yeah. Ridiculous. Koshi, good observation. We salute you. And we also have time now to say bye to everyone who's actually tuned in.
One more question.
Damn you, one more question. Yeah.
This sounds like a fun one.
Alright, so Chinu Bhai on Twitter says, have you ever been in a physical fight? Not with the missus, but an actual fight, Cyrus?
Mine is the Floyd Mayweather Jr. record, but in reverse. Lots of fights, no wins. So it's like 59 fights, 58 losses, 1 draw.
Okay, what was the last time you got in a fight?
I fought with a driver 2 weeks ago.
Like a physical
Yeah. Pulled his beard.
What? Your driver?
No. He banged a guy on a scooter but he was a driver in the lane. He banged into the car and then he started giving me lip. So I said, but it's your fault. I won't translate it because if I translate, it'll take half an hour. And so he started giving me lip. You kar hai. Like, why are you staring at me? So from there, it just elevated. Indian men also know, they just don't know how to talk. I think my language skills are a problem because I'm trying to be sarcastic with him, but in Hindi, my vyang is not as good as my biting satire in English. So cut to the chase, a little bit of shoving up, and I pulled his beard really hard. I wanted to pull it off.
That's just funny.
Yeah.
You pulled his beard.
Because I couldn't find anything else. He had a helmet on. The beard was coming out, so I pulled it. What do you do? These things happen. They spiral sometimes. Anyway, to cut a long story short, he fell off the scooter. Then I got in the car and drove off because I lost my energy. I felt tired. And I didn't want to do round 2 in case I lose to a guy half my size in public view. So I ran. I always run. Chavi, no harm in running. Just don't get defeated. Let me tell you. One guy made a mistake. Puru, the king. He made the mistake. He actually stayed and fought Alexander. All his soldiers ran. He stood alone. Literally stood alone. Big mistake. Why didn't he run? Alexander would have run after him. It was hot. Nobody runs in the heat except P.T. Usha. And she still didn't get the 3rd place in the Olympics. All right, Dharmesh, that's all we have time for. You've been wonderful. You've been very attractive. Your Hogwarts t-shirt and your life of pornography has made me look at my own life and think of why I didn't do the same thing. But you've grown a lot since we saw you in MTV as a young kid who used to come and irritate us. And now suddenly I think we'll have to come to you for jobs. See how life changes. Chavi, you were pleasant. You're always pretty and always fun. But could you please stop wearing these strange chadars when you sit in the
I can't.
studio?
You're freezing me.
I'm freezing you?
Yeah, baby.
You know, we could go with that one, but you know what? I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to let it go. All right, that's all we have time for. Air condition off, please.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of the IndusVox Media Network or any of our show advertisers or sponsors. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast, obviously.
All right, time to look at the podcast, P-O-D-C-A-S-T. It's, we have to push the pun from time to time because it's an audio medium. We can't write it for you. Hosted by the dailypow.com's Purva Mehra, Pranoti Datta and Amit Gurbaksani. The podcast is your fortnightly lowdown on Mumbai's food and culture scenes. Plus, if you pay them money, they'll talk about your family and other animals.